Good evening. This is a special night for me. Exactly 3 years ago, on July 15th, 1976, I accepted the nomination of my party to run for President of the United States.
Jimmy Carter was the 39th President of the United States. He served during the late 70s. He's known for being one of the least effective presidents while in office, with the richest life after office. He got out of office when he was around 56 years old, which was the youngest surviving president to leave office at the time, and he did a lot of stuff after that. In this video, I want to talk about the book Life at 90 that he recently wrote, and go over some of the life lessons that we can learn from Jimmy Carter.
Each day, the world's most important information flows into the Oval Office.
Lesson number 1 is tell the truth. One of the strongest points that Carter ran on when he was the president, and also when he was the governor, was his phrase, "Don't elect me if I ever lie to you." He was a big proponent of telling the truth in all aspects, and that was going against what a lot of the politicians were doing at the time. The president right before Jimmy Carter was Gerald Ford, who was Richard Nixon's vice president, and Gerald Ford didn't get reelected because he pardoned Nixon for his crime, so Nixon didn't have to go to trial or anything. And that was seen as a very dishonest move. So when Jimmy Carter comes in with his tell the truth strategy, it seems to do really well. The other big lesson from Jimmy Carter was life keeps going. Jimmy Carter was very similar to Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you go and watch that video, how he did so many things in one life. Jimmy Carter was a missionary, then he came back and ran his family business. He was a farmer, he sold seeds, turned his family business into a very successful business, became governor of Georgia, and then turned that into a run for the presidency. He was the president for one term, then left the presidency, became a preacher and a consultant to other presidents. He's worked with a bunch of other presidents, and what that means is what you're doing today really has no bearing on what you're going to be doing in 10 or 20 years. Unless you want it to, right? If you're in a career you really love, keep going, right? You could work in that career your entire life, but you could change careers every 10 years, every 20 years, even every 5 years. And Jimmy Carter is a very good example of somebody who is able to do that. Which actually brings us to our third point about Jimmy Carter and his career, which is do the hard things. Jimmy Carter is known for negotiating with Panama and giving Panama back the Panama Canal, which was owned by the US for the longest time. They had this little stretch of land in Panama. It was causing a lot of discontent, but no presidents before Jimmy Carter wanted to deal with the situation because there was a lot of back and forth needed. There was a lot of governments getting overturned, and Panama was not the most stable country at the time. But Jimmy Carter actually negotiated with Panama, cut a deal for the United States, gave them back the Panama Canal, and did what nobody else wanted to do. He became the go-to guy for everything related to the Panama Canal, to the point where every president after him that's had to deal with Panama in any way has sent Jimmy Carter on his behalf instead of dealing with Panama directly. So he did one of the hard things of that era, which is negotiating with Panama, and that put him on the speed dial of all future presidents that wanted to talk about Panama. Do the things nobody else wants to do, and then you become the guy who people call when they want info on that specific thing. You become that expert. Thanks for watching the video. Please like this video to encourage this type of content on YouTube. Subscribe for more B2B sales training. And if you need marketing support for your digital agency, check out experiment27.com. Thanks.